What's up, DC Nation? We're back to another video of Batman The Last Night on Earth. Now guys, this is Scott Snyder, Greg Paulo's final Batman story. This is pretty much, if they have the chance to end Batman as a character, this is how they tell it. And what we've seen so far in book 1 is that Batman was pretty much believed to be shot. He woke up in a future that was really crazy where all DC Universe of Wasteland is taken over by Omega. And Omega is like this unknown villain who has all these forces. He's using the anti-life equation, like this big equation that Darkseid used to control people until there's no one left with free will. Now, Batman was with Alfred, and Alfred kept him in this asylum to pretty much have him live like a normal life. But Batman chose to leave and embark on this journey to be Omega, and by his side, under his arm, is Joker, who's pretty much just a head in the jar, and he's just cracking jokes as they go along. Now, we find out where Batman and Joker, where their journey takes them in this issue, who are Omega's forces, and what happens to some of the biggest characters in the DC Universe. Alright guys, if you end up like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you like the content that I'm dropping, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos on Batman Last Night on Earth or any of the big DC Comics story. I cover all of them, and I make sure that you're up to date on DC Comics. Alright guys, enough this intro, let's get to Batman Last Night on Earth, number 2. Now guys, diving into this issue, we pretty much got this dope cover at first. Looks pretty cool. We see Bane and Scarecrow's on his back. Guys, I love this image because one, Bane, drawn by Greg Capullo, just looks so cool. You see all the veins, he looks very big. And then Scarecrow, he has an interesting look. He has long nails that are pretty much like needles, and he looks very scary. Now guys, we start out, and this is part 5. Pretty much this whole story is breaking up into different parts, and we went through the first 4 parts in book 1. Now part 5 is titled Who's There? So we start out, and what we see is Joe Chill. And Joe Chill, guys, as you remember, is the guy who shot Batman's parents way back in Crime Alley. And guys, in book 1, my explain video, I said Crime Valley. It's actually Crime Alley. Little mistake, but Crime Alley, he shot Bruce's parents with his mom, with the whole thing the pearls, shot them, and then Bruce made a vow to become Batman. So Joe Chill is very important to Batman's origin story. So seeing him here is pretty good. But we see Joe Chill, he's cooking something, and there's somebody in the corner, in the shadows, it's Batman. He's saying, I took away your guns, I hid them so you can't do anything, and Joe Chill's all I'm looking for is pepper to add to my meal. And he then sees a shadow of ears. He's like, huh, you're not that good at being stealthy, are you, ears? That's what he calls him. And then Batman's like, lucky for me, neither are you. And Batman jumps at Joe Chill, jumps very hard, guys, jumps down, throws him against the stove, because Joe Chill's pretty much cooking something, throws him against it, and a fire starts erupting, guys, a fire behind them. And Batman's like, you could end up burning the whole place down if you don't tell me what I want. And Joe Chill's like, okay, whatever. He's not even fazed by this. There's fire going around. He's like, I'm just trying to cook something. He finds the pepper, starts applying it, and as we go on to the next page, he's like, funny thing, ears, this meal, I'm making it for you. It's pretty much like a send-off. It's like a good send-off to your whole journey. And Batman's like, the boy has no records. Pretty much in issue number 1, as remember, Batman saw a boy that was pretty much dead in Crime Alley. And Batman's like, the boy was 10 years old. And Joe's like, yeah, 10 years and 3 months. And it turns out this boy is Joe Chill's son. And Joe's like, he's very good at plugging down Waynes, killing Waynes, pretty much shooting him in Crime Alley. And Batman's like, what do you mean by that? And Joe's like, I know you, Bruce. I know everything. And pretty much Joe is taunting him. He's like, that's why I'm thinking of making this meal for you. Because your journey is about to end. You're about to die. And Batman looks at him and then hits him against the stove. And you see all his fire. It's getting even worse. And he's like, that's right, Bruce. I know everything. And Batman's like, in seconds, the fire behind you will consume this whole apartment. Guys, this apartment's pretty it's dirty. It's not that nice. It's going to consume the whole apartment and you'll be in flames. Just tell me what I want here. And Joe's like, you mean, what you mean? And Batman's like, who is the boy in Crime Alley? And Joe's like, oh, do you mean you in Crime Alley or the new one? So Joe's trying to just joke about this, and Batman squeezes him and yells out. And Joe's pretty much yelling really loud because it hurts. And Batman's like, tell me. And Joe's like, you already know. You've always known. He's like, all these years, you never wondered why the pearls, right? He's just taunting him, guys. Well, no more secrets, so welcome to the last case you will ever do. And as we go that, pretty much you go like a zoom in on Joe's eyes, and then we shift to pretty much Batman waking up. He's been having a bad dream, and turns out he's screaming while he's having this dream. And Joker actually wakes him up. He's like, I got it right. The knock knock comes first. And throughout the story, Joker's trying to remember like this joke, and it's like knock knock, who's there? You know, like the basic one. And he's like, the knock knock always goes first. Isn't that right, Batman? And Batman's like, yeah, knock knock goes first. Go back to sleep, Joker. And Joker's like, I can't. You're screaming. What are you dreaming about? And Batman's like, nothing. An old case about a dead. And he's about to say dead kid. Joker's like, never mind. I don't care. He's like, let me go over something. It's very important. Hear me out. We've been traveling as companions and comrades for the past week. Well, why don't I just be your Robin now? And as he says that, he's cut off, and Batman's like, stop, we have to move. And what's approaching them is pretty much like a Speed Force storm. Guys, this Speed Force storm is crazy. And as it comes by, and Joker's like, exactly, we need to move on, evolve. That's what I'm saying. So, what do you think? Should I be Robin? Joker is not even focusing on what's going on. He just wants to be Batman's Robin. And as the Speed Force storms comes by, Batman's like, a duck. He jumps, grabs Joker, they go into like the dirt, and Joker's like, so what's the answer? Can I be Robin? And Batman goes by his horse, and he's like, I make this damn horse Robin before you, now shut up. And Joker's like, really? He's like, look out. And you see the Speed Force storm pretty much go onto this horse. This horse is pretty much like turning to bones and destroys it. And Batman and Joker barely get away. Pretty much what the Speed Force storm does is if you get in it, you'll either like age a lot and die old, or you'll age like pretty much young and die as a baby. So you're pretty much gonna die either way. And then as Batman and Joker get away, Joker says this awesome line. He's like, well, look at that, another perfectly good Robin, dead. Oh my guys, Joker's a savage. Like, hear him say this, and then he's all like, oh man, I actually like that one. The other ones are pretty bad, because as we know, guys, Joker killed Jason Todd, he messed with Dick Grayson, he's messed with all the Robins. So hear him say that the horse is the best one, it's pretty funny. And as we go on, Batman makes it into this like cave and gets away from the Speed Force storm. And then the Speed Force storm starts like speaking to Bruce. And they're like, please, Bruce. And you see the Flash symbol, guys. We see 3 Flashes in this storm. It's Jake Garrick, Wally West, and Barry. And they're all like sucked into this. It's pretty much like their worst nightmare. And it's pretty bad. Like, if you think about it, it's very disturbing. They're like pretty much going through like endless like pain. Because if you're stuck in the Speed Force and can't get out, you're pretty much going through all these nightmares. You're feeling a lot of pain. And they're like, please, Bruce, help us. And as Batman steps out and goes to save them, they're gone. And Joker pretty much narrates. You guys, as we found out last issue, the narrator of the story is the Joker. And he says that I felt it. Up against Batman's chest as he held me, because pretty much Batman's pulling this jar, a headed jar Joker, up against his like ribs. He's like, I felt him breathing heavy, like he was pretty much sad about this. He couldn't save his friends, Jake Garrick, Wally, Barry, and Joker's like, but we had to move on. That's when Batman decides, he's like, we just have to move on and forget about this. And that's when they pretty much went on like a glider, and they started gliding in the sky, trying to find like civilization and find out where Omega is. And guys, Omega's the main villain, and he's caused a lot of this stuff. Now, as they fly by, they find this place called Fort Waller. Now, guys, when we think of Waller, it's like Amanda Waller, pretty much the leader of the Suicide Squad, or pretty much, not the leader, but she manipulates all these villains. This isn't any, like, Suicide Squad place. This is just like a fort. And you see all these soldiers, and they come out, they get in their posts, they have bandages wrapped around them, and they're shooting at something. It's like big tanks. Like, guys, this is pretty crazy. You see all these tanks, they're shooting at stuff, and Batman's like telling Joker, what is this? And Joker's like, oh, they're going against some big enemies. A lot of them have died. They've been planted there for so many years, and pretty much this place was supposed to be like the protecting place of all the greatest scientists, like Curtis Holt, who is Mr. Terrific, Dr. Savannah, and Detective Chip, all these like great scientists, but a lot of them died. And the ones left are pretty much stuck in this fort, and these soldiers are protecting them from the rots. And guys, the rot is pretty much like, think of Swamp Thing and all the plant life going against like the rot, and it's like evil stuff. Now this rot, they look like kind of like zombies, but kind of worse. And they go up, and these soldiers are shooting them, trying to survive, but they can't, guys. Like, this rot is like dangerous. They're just eating them alive, biting them, killing them, and you see like explosions everywhere. And Batman's watching, he's like, what can we do? And pretty much these rot are like, give us the bones. They want the bones of like these soldiers, and the soldiers are like, just keep fighting, we can't stop. This is our last stand. And Batman asks, can we help them? And Joker's like, which side do you want to help? And as he says that, you see pretty much this plant life come out, and you see Swamp Thing. And he's not on the good side. Swamp Thing's actually bad. He's like wild, and he just starts killing a bunch of the soldiers too. Like, he's actually not a good guy anymore. He's like turned wild, he's infected by the rot, which it just shows how much this world has gone too far. Like, it's not a good world anymore. It's a world that doesn't want to be saving. Now, Batman, Joker, they decide, let's just move on and find another place. Now, we shift to pretty much Alfred. And guys, Alfred, he's in like this city. And guys, remember Alfred built like a city for Batman. If Bruce chose to, he could go to this place where his parents didn't die. It's like the perfect civilization. Bruce can live like a normal life. And Alfred's going in this place every night, like seeing if it's all good, and he goes and he's starting to like turn it off. He's like, he has to turn it off so he doesn't waste energy. And somebody says out of the distance, like, don't turn it all off, it's so pretty. And Alfred thinks it's Leslie Thompson. He's like, hey, don't worry, I'm shutting down, I'm going to sleep. And turns out it's Bane and Scarecrow. And they say, hello Pennyworth, you did a bad thing. And Alfred's like, Bane, Scarecrow. Like, Alfred's actually pretty afraid of this, because they're not there to just chat and be like, hey, what's up, Alfred? No, they're there to either kill him or do something bad. And they talk to him, and Alfred's like, stay back, I'm warning you. And Scarecrow's like, couldn't just leave it alone, could you? And what Alfred did was release pretty much Batman, the duplicate Batman, the Batman that we're following in this series. When he left that asylum, that was against Omega's plans. And we see Scarecrow, he comes by Alfred, and Alfred's like, he sent you, did he? And Alfred's speaking of Omega. And Scarecrow's like, he goes by Omega. It's like not the name you knew him by. So Alfred knew this person. We don't know who he is, but he knew this person who is Omega. And Scarecrow's like, he can make you stronger. Just come back with us. Join us. See, he's made us stronger. He's made Scarecrow stronger with like needles, made Bane stronger. And he's like, we can make you stronger, Alfred. We can make you younger. And Alfred's like, no. He's like, I did a bad thing. I made a mistake way back when. My mistake was not killing you when I had the chance. And Alfred takes out a shotgun and just starts firing at them. He starts firing at Bane. You see blood going out Bane. Now it's like, you tell him to take his blade off her and just take it to hell. Like, Alfred's like, I will not go by this offer. I will not join you guys. And then he runs out of bullets. Alfred is out of bullets. Bane's there. He's kind of bloody, but he's still good. He's just walking around. He's like, okay, whatever. And Scarecrow, right behind Alfred, plugs a needle into him. And Alfred's like, what have you done to me? What have you? And Alfred just starts dropping. He just starts dropping to the ground. And Omega comes out of the shadows. And Omega's like, well, I asked him to, Alfred. And Bane's like, hell, Omega. Scarecrow's like, hell, Omega. So these villains are pretty much bitches to Omega. And we see Alfred's like, I know who you are. How could you? After everything we've been to, how could you do this to me? And Omega's like, shh, fall asleep. It's fine. Look around. Look at what you've built. And Alfred's built this place that they're in. Look at what you've built. Pretty much Bruce's parents are alive. You built a family. Just look at your greatest achievement as you fall asleep. Now, so Omega pretty much grabs his neck and says goodbye. And Omega walks away with Bane, Scarecrow, and you see Alfred just fall to the ground. And it's like, I did it. I saved everyone. And he falls to the ground, dead. So Alfred's dead, guys. He's dead. And that's gonna really impact Batman later on in this issue. Now guys, as we continue to see Batman, Joker, they travel through like Great Plains, they travel through like Temerian places, pretty much like Starfire species. They travel to like different cities, but the place they're trying to make it to is the Plains of Solitude, because Batman wants to find Superman. Because he's like, there has to be one hero out there other than Wonder Woman. Because he tried Wonder Woman, but she was pretty much like, we're just gonna leave. Go Hades, don't worry about this. But Batman's like, Superman, he's always trying to be hope, trying to like save the day, so he'll have a plan. We'll have to have a plan. And Batman makes it to the Plains of Solitude. He's climbing up like these big like ice breakers pretty much. And you see Joker, and over this whole course of journey, he's like, how about now? Can I be a Robin? And Batman's like, no, you can't be Robin. And as they keep going, Joker just keeps asking. He's like, okay, fine. But can I be Robin? And Batman's like, no, you can't. And then he asks again, and you see Batman just pretty much like climbing up like these ice mountains. And he's getting tired, like it's cold, guys. Imagine, it's like Arctic. This is pretty much like the Arctic if you think about it. So it's pretty damn cold, and you see Joker's like, how about? And then Batman goes behind, like he turns around, grabs like the jar, squeezes it, he's like, no, you can't be Robin. There's no one left out there. Who is left out there? Tell me who could be like Robin. And Joe's like, maybe me. And Batman's like, no, you can't. But who's out there? And Joe's like, it's supposed to be knock knock, not who's there. So Joe's kind of mad, but he's still like a jokingly fashion. And Batman's like, I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry, but I can't deal with this. We have to find Superman. If he's not here, this is our last hope. And Joker's like, just cheer up, cheer up. And Joker's trying to cheer up Batman. He tells like a joke, and Batman's just silent. And then we hear like this bombing sound, like this like thing approaching. And Joker's like, okay, if it's that bad, you don't have to make bombing sounds. And Batman's like, no, I'm not making those sounds. And then we see a ship approaching. It crashes right next to them, and it's pretty much the same ship that pretty much Baby Clark arrived on Earth in like Kansas, Nebraska, which is pretty crazy. And Batman's like, it's Superman, see here? And Joker's like, man, they must have brought like the whole nursery. And you see all these ships arrive, and they just start hitting Batman. Batman gets hit against like the ice mountains, and Batman's almost like knocked out. And Joker's like, well. And Joker's like, here he comes. And you see this like unknown figure approach them. And Batman's like, Clark, is it you? And you see pretty much the Superman symbol. And Batman's like, we come to save you. And Superman says, rest, Bruce. He's like, it's alright, you made it. And you see this awesome image. Guys, look at that image. It's just so cool. Like, Greg Paul draws it so well. You see Batman held by Superman. Superman has like this beard. Now, he looks old. He's like in a jacket. He has the Superman symbol. And Batman's just holding the jar that pretty much Joker is in. So, pretty crazy image. And it ends this part out on like a big bang. Now, going to part 6, we see what happened to Superman, how Lex Luthor ties into this, and where Batman and Joker's journey takes them next. So, let's dive in. So, part 6 is called The Miracle. And guys, coming into here, you see Batman asking Superman a question. Like, he woke up, he's with Joker, and they're in the Fortress of Solitude in a way. Well, it's like the Plains of Solitude. And he asks, he's like, why'd you not do anything? The whole world is falling apart, and you didn't do nothing. You didn't help anybody out. You didn't save no one. And pretty much Superman is refusing to answer. He's just quiet. He's like, follow me. We're going somewhere. And Batman's like, talk to me, damn it. Talk to me. Yeah, I need to know. Why'd you not do anything? And Superman just keep following me. And they walk into this place. And it's pretty much like a virtual world. Well, not like a virtual world, but it's Kansas City. And you see Kansas, you see the farms. It's pretty like a nice place. And Batman's like, I don't understand. And they approach like the Kent farm, which that's where like Superman grew up in. And they walk in, and Superman's like, this way. And Batman's like, you dug all this out? And he's like, you just been down here the entire time as the world's fall apart? And Superman's like, I said this way. And Batman's like, no, what's going on? He's like, what's wrong with you? And then somebody up the stairs says, nothing's the matter with him, Batman. And we see Lex Luthor. He's like, he's perfect. And guys, Lex Luthor is like in a lab outfit. He's like totally bald, but he looks kind of shriveled. And he's like very old. He kind of looks kind of crazy. And he has like a Superman shirt on. And he says, he's just not the Superman you're looking for, Batman. And Batman's like, Luthor, you're alive. What'd you do with Superman? Luthor, where is he? And Luthor's like, oh, he's here. Don't worry. And he's like, he's all around here. He's like, follow me. And Batman follows Lex Luthor to like this farmhouse, and you see all these duplicate Supermans. And he says, these were his. And Luthor's like, the one that picked you up was the old faithful Superman. Now this is like a different version from like alternate reality, but these are all like clone Supermans, but not the real one. And Batman wasn't looking for this. He's like, how'd you do this? How'd you find all these? And Luthor's like, my whole plan is to bring him back. We need Superman. Luthor's like, I need to bring back Superman. And Batman touches these Supermans, like pulling out her skin. And Batman's like, we can't use them. And Lex Luthor's like, I've been using them so far, and I've been pretty much trying to investigate and figure out a plan to have like another ship come from space and it be Superman. He can save us all. Now, Batman follows Lex Luthor into like his lab. In Luthor's lab, he's like pretty much telling Batman, oh, I have this whole plan, it's coming all together, Superman's gonna be back. He's going through like this whole ramble of like all his like scientific works, all his stuff he's been doing, and Batman keeps asking, what did you do? And Lex Luthor's like, oh, I did this, I did that. And Batman's like, no, what did you do that caused the end of the world, caused the end of Superman? And Lex is just keep avoiding the question. Batman's like, Luthor, what did you do? He's like, tell me. Luthor finally tells what happened. And he's like, it was one day, I called Superman, and he was there in a second. It was in Kansas City. It was like pretty much in Kansas by the farms, and Superman showed up, and he's like, what do you want? And Lex Luthor was like, a final battle. He's like, I want to pretty much make a debate that in front of all the world. You make a debate, pretty much tell how good you are, side with justice. I'll make a debate, side with doom, and whoever wins, pretty much the whole world goes by their passion, goes by their influence. So if I win, the whole world is going by doom. It's pretty much like a vote. The majority rules. And Superman's like, what if I won? And Luthor's like, then pretty much it's all justice. I'll go away. The Legion of Doom will be gone. I'll no longer be a villain, and I'll die. But if you lose, Superman, you'll die, and I'll take over. And Superman thinks about it, and all the heroes are like, don't do this. You don't have to do this. It's a bad idea. And what Luthor did was he teamed up with Starro, and he had Starro like pretty much implant, like not control all of the human race, but make them watch this debate on live television. And all they have to think about is one word, either justice or doom. Now, they went through this whole thing. Superman gave like a great speech about being justice, saving the world, and everybody went by his speech. It was a hard one to top. Now, Luthor talked about, oh, the end is coming, pretty much side with doom. We need to be villains to take over this and save the world. But his speech wasn't as good as Superman. And everyone in the world sided with justice. They chose Superman. And Luthor, one day, he's like, I knew I lost. And he went out into this plains. And how it would happen is whoever lost would go out to this plains, and this kryptonite would just pretty much stab through him and kill them. And Luthor's like, I waited there, Superman right next to me. He's like, I waited to see if he would save me. And pretty much the kryptonite came out of the ground. Superman looked to go save him, but instead of the kryptonite going through Lex Luthor and killing him, it actually went through Superman. And killed Superman. Went through his neck, went through his body, and Superman dead in front of Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor just held him. He's like, no, this is not what happened. And Lex Luthor tells Batman, it was a big mistake. I was supposed to live, he was supposed to save me, and it would just be all justice, it would all end. This whole rivalry, he was not supposed to die. And Lex like, I even made like another you. I made Superman, I made another Batman, that went like terribly wrong. And Batman's like, what do you mean? And Lex Luthor puts his hands in his face. He's all ashamed. And Lex is like, it's rare. I thought I could like save Superman. I thought I could bring him back. I've been trying all this time, but I can't figure this out. And Batman's like, what do you mean? We have to figure this out. And then Clark comes in, the old Clark, pretty much Superman. He comes in, the one that saved Batman. He's like, Lex. And Lex Luthor spins around his chair. He's like, what do you want, my boy? What is it? And then Superman pretty much goes against Batman. Lex Luthor pretty much charges at them and pushes them out this like wall. And they crash to the wall. And it turns into like a big fight. You see Scarecrow there, and he's pretty much manipulated the Superman, and he's now on their side. Now, Scarecrow's like, see now I'm offended. All these fields down here, all these like farm fields, and there's not one Scarecrow. And he says that I use pretty much the Superman, I'm manipulating them, and they're gonna kill you all. It's by the rules and the plans of Omega. You see Scarecrow on top of Bane, and guys, Bane doesn't really speak at all. All he says in this issue is Hail Omega, that's it. And you see them, and they go to attack Batman, and Superman lifts up Batman, pretty much like Bane. Like guys, remember back in Batman number 497, when Batman lifted up, well no, Bane lifted up Batman and broke his back, like that famous cover. That's pretty much what's happening here, but Batman doesn't get his back broken. You see Superman lift him up, and guys, this image is pretty good. Like the art by Greg Apollo, and like the colors by Jonathan FCO Placenta, it really sells it. And you see the Superman get stabbed right through and get sliced in half by Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman shows up. She's like, I have known gods and I speak to none. And she saves Batman. And Batman's like, it's good to see you. And Wonder Woman's like, it's good to see you too. And I'm happy I saved you. And Batman's like, I had it under control. And Wonder Woman's like, sure you did. And they start fighting, and Batman's getting hit by the Supermans. But then this Superman gets his arm chopped off. And Scarecrow's like, get her, rip her head off. And Superman goes to rip Wonder Woman's head off, but she cuts off his head. Guys, cuts it clean off. And Wonder Woman's like, one false Superman won't do it. And Scarecrow's like, good that infected and manipulate all of them, is it? And out of the barn comes pretty much like 100, well, probably like 20 like pretty much unstoppable Supermans. They go charging, and Lex Luthor's like, no, those are mine. I made those. And one was like, they're too many. Batman's like, Lex Luthor, you now control them, right? get control of them and like make a portal so we can get out of here. And Lex is like, no, we can't. It'll only get us like 50 miles or like 50 feet. It won't be enough to get us away from Scarecrow Bay and all these Supermen. And Wonder Woman's like, take us to like the plains. Now, the edge of the plains. Lex Luthor's like, I know that where that is. That's very dangerous. You sure? And Wonder Woman's like, I know. Just take us there. And Lex Luthor opens this portal, and Lex is like, go, go. Wonder Woman and Batman, they charge at the portal. And Batman's like, are you coming? And Lex is like, no, I'll stay here. The Supermans are pretty much focused on me. They'll kill me, but it'll give me enough time to leave. And Wonder Woman says, pretty much, Lex Luthor, I will never forgive what you've done, all the evil stuff you've done. For this act that you're doing, saving our lives, I will speak up. And Lex Luthor is like, to him, please. Lex is pretty much saying, if you speak up pretty much my courage, all the good stuff I've done at this moment, please tell Superman that if you ever see him. And Wonder Woman's like, sure. And they go through the portal. We see Lex Luthor get beat the crap out by the Superman. He's killed. And you see Wonder Woman and Batman pretty much arrive on like this green platform. And this green platform, at first Batman's like, is it grass? And Wonder Woman's like, it's a haunted place. And Batman's like, it's the Spectre. This is the Spectre's cloak. And Wonder Woman's like, the Spectre fell when the fighting pretty much consumed him. Pretty much all this chaos consumed the Spectre. And he's gone. So Wonder Woman and Batman go into a place, and Batman's like, what is this place? And Wonder Woman's like, the place that everyone who died reside. And they go in. It's dark. It's pretty dark. And pretty much Batman's like, where are we? And Joker's like, do you hear voices? I hear voices. And Batman's like, yeah, that's me, Joker. And Wonder Woman's like, we're in limbo on the river of the dead. And Joker's like, who's that? I'm warning you, late. I'll bite your head off. And Batman's like, Joker, it's just Diane. Like, calm down. And Wonder Woman's the only one who can see stuff because of the lasso of truth. Now, she's like, no, down here, you'll hear voices of the dead. You'll hear people who really like speak to you, people close to you that are dead. But if you go out to reach to them, you'll be consumed by death and you'll die, just like them. So don't go out. If you hear somebody that is close to you that's dead, don't go out and grab them. And Batman's like, Diane, let me see. And Wonder Woman's like, you won't be able to handle it. And Bruce is like, please. And she pretty much wraps around the lasso around his like wrist, and they start looking. They're on like a boat. They're on the river of the dead. And Wonder Woman's like, I'm warning you, this place, it's very like scary. You see all the people that you love dead. And Batman's like, it's a good thing I brought Penny. Pretty much she says like, this takes a toll. And Batman's like, I brought Alfred's pay, so it like, you know, money and pretty much. Wonder Woman's like, this is nothing to take lightly, Batman. And Batman's like, I know, but who is Omega, do you know? And Wonder Woman's like, no one knows. And Batman's like, you would tell me though, right? And Wonder Woman's like, I have the lasso right around my wrist, so yeah, I'll tell you. She's like, I think it's one of your disciples, Nightwing, Damian, Tim Drake, Jason Todd. And Batman's like, maybe it is. He's like, wait, I'm hearing voices. Who is that? And he looks over, he's like, it sounds like everyone. And we see all these heroes, and pretty much all these heroes have died. We see like, actually guys, I'm putting up the image right now in the comment section below. Put down like this part of the video and tell me how many heroes you see. Now we see Kyle Rayner, Shazam, Blue Beetle, Black Canary, Huntress, Aquaman, Superman, Cyborg, Green Arrow, Batwoman, Jon Stewart, Metamorpho, Beast Boy. You see Adam Strange, Mr. Miracle, Hawkgirl. I can name them all day. But these are pretty much all heroes that have died, and Superman is right in the middle. And Batman's like, so many voices, but there's one that's sticking out to me. And one's like, don't go out and reach for it, you'll die, Batman. And Batman's like, who is that? Oh no. And it turns out it's Alfred. Alfred's dead. Guys, at the beginning of the story, we saw that Bane and Scarecrow killed him. And we see Alfred right next to Green Arrow and Cyborg. He has like pretty much those white eyes. Same as those eyes at the beginning of the story of that dead kid. And he's dead. And Batman's like, no, Alfred, I just left you. You can't be dead. And you see one of them's like, Bruce. And Batman's like, he's like struggling to speak. And Alfred just looks at him, just dead. And they pretty much just like go by them. And one was like, I'm taking you off the lasso. You'll go out and reach for it. And Batman's like, no, I'm good. I can deal with this. He's like, what if this is all a mistake? What if this is all what it's meant to be? What if this is all true? All these people are dead. And one was like, nothing's final. This can't be all true. We can fix this. And one was like, that's the thing that defines us. The thing that defines us is that all the people we lost, we keep going, we keep fighting. Guys, this really like shows Wonder Woman's character that even like the darkest times, like she keeps fighting until the very end, and she's like, that pain you have, Batman, hold on to that. You'll really need it, alright? And you see Joker, they stop speaking, Joker's like, finally, alright, let's speak about this again. Can I be Robin? And Batman cuts him off. He's like, but Wonder Woman, what if I end up killing everybody again? Because I'm thinking that I caused all this. I was one of the reasons. He's like, what if what I'm doing right now is causing something even worse? And one was like, we don't know, but we'll figure out. And one was like, you probably will. I mean, like you probably will cause it. But because you're pretty much the one who always opens up the doors to different things. And Batman's like, but that's not good. If I do this, if I open up another door to chaos and madness, it'll be my fault. And one was like, yes, it could be. But it also could be that if you open up the door to hope, to pretty much saving everyone, you'll be the one that saved everyone instead of killing everyone. And Batman's like, it's a risk, but it's a risk that is worth taking. Now, as they pretty much travel, they travel through Metropolis, they travel through like different cities, they're in chaos, but they finally arrive in Gotham City. Now guys, we see Wonder Woman, she has like the red hood on top of her, which looks pretty cool, and she's like, we're here, and Joker's like narrating this, he's like, over like certain days, he's like, I tried convincing Batman that I'm Robin, but Batman wouldn't let me. Like, Joker is so caught up on the thing of being Batman's next Robin. Now they make it there, and Wonder Woman's like, look, this is Gotham. And Batman's like, no, this can't be Gotham. He's like, oh my god. And they look out, and that's where we end that part. Now, part 7, going into this, is called Paradise. And as they look, Batman says, this isn't the real Gotham, it can't be. And you see Omega's sign in the sky. And you see all these futuristic ships, you see like Gotham is ruled by Omega, you see all these guards, and Wonder Woman's like, Omega has everyone under control by the anti-life equation. So he controls everyone, and they have no free will. And she's like, I doubt there's anyone left to help us, so we're gonna have to pretty much go against them ourselves. Do you have like any plans? And Batman's like, yes, there is one time that I pretty much stuck into a place. And he starts like pretty much describing this place, and one was like, you didn't sneak into Themyscira. And as he speaks, he's like, well, I did, but there's a way that I did. And as he's about to say his plans, so all of a sudden they hear something. And somebody says, who's there? And it's the Core of Owls. They jump out, and they're like, the Core of Owls have sentenced you to death. And they all surround Batman and Wonder Woman. And Joker's like, oh, this is where it gets good. Joker pretty much narrates saying, this is pretty much just a knock-knock joke. Now this is who's there. This is the big reveal. And we get to it, and Batman's like, that voice, it's the leader of the Talons. The Talon comes forward, he's leading all these Core Val members, and he's like, Bruce is like, come forward, I know you. And this Talon is like, my god, Bruce, it's me. And it turns out, the leader of the Core of Owls is Dick Grayson. And that's the big reveal. And Joker's like, that's why this is funnier my way. It's funnier to reveal the who's there at the end of the story. Now, that ends that, and pretty much says next issue, the final battle with Omega. We'll see pretty much that Nightwing, he has other people underground. They'll team up with Batman and Wonder Woman to fight off Omega. We'll find out who Omega is, and we'll find out how Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo end their big Batman run. Now, next issue is huge, but this issue is very important, guys. It's pretty much like set it up, introduce how other characters, where they're at. Like, where Superman's out, where like Wonder Woman's at, how she comes back, what her mindset is, and how Batman and Joker as like companions like go along this journey. Like next issue we'll see if Joker actually becomes the next Robin. Now guys, that's it for the explained part of this issue, so let's get to my review of Batman Last Night on Earth, number 2. Now guys, this issue was awesome. I thought it was better than the first one, which the first one was amazing, guys. It set up everything, but this one I felt like the art was even that much better. Like all the callbacks, especially like the image of like Superman like holding Batman in like that Bane type look, like about to break his back. And then the other look of just seeing like Bane, a scarecrow on top of him, like it's such a unique look. And then Alfred, that really hits you emotionally when he died and then Batman saw him like the River of the Dead. It's one of the most emotional moments in this whole story. Like it hit me. Like the first time I read this, I was like, oof, that's pretty dark. But then seeing Batman and Wonder Woman pretty much keep striving for hope, keep going, and they keep fighting till the very end, it really elevates the story and makes it like really cool. It's really good. And guys, the pacing is well done. For being a 60-page comic, there's no filler. Like even the part where they're like gliding above like Fort Waller, and you see like pretty much the different like soldiers going against the rot and swamp thing. You think that's filler, but it shows all these scientists are gone. You see all the chaos that's erupting, and most of all, what you see in this is that Batman, this is like his final story, the end of it. And guys, I like how this is ending. I'm excited for that final issue that's be coming. That'll explain the next video, the final video, and after that I'll put it all into like one video, explain the whole series. But guys, as you know, this is a longer video. I hope you enjoyed it, and overall, I'm gonna give this issue a 9.7 out of 10. It's probably like the best one in the series. We'll find out if the next issue is better, but so far I thought this one was barely better than the last issue. But as you can see, I love this story. This story is like one of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's best. Like, it just shows Batman at his best. Like, yeah, you see him going, seeing all this chaos and stuff, but also like the team up between like Batman, Joker, and Wonder Woman. Like, when would you ever see that Joker teaming up with two of the Trinity? Like, that's just so cool. But yeah, guys, in the comment section below, tell me what you thought about this issue. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think about these team-ups, all this chaos, like the mythology of Batman, and how Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are pretty much ending their run on Batman? And guys, also, what do you think about these videos? Do you want them to be a little shorter? So I know they are long, but I really want to explain and get really deep into the story because there's a lot to uncover. And guys, if you like the video, give a big thumbs up. And if you like what I'm dropping on my channel, all the content, and if you want to continue this series, then make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next video and the conclusion to this big series. Alright guys, that's the video, and peace out.